Preliminary Geography. Geographical Inquiry Introduction. The Preliminary Geography course is made up of 6 components. 3 of these are content topics. Students also need to address geographical tools, geographical inquiry skills, and students need to carry out their own geographical investigation. This video will focus on geographical inquiry skills. This should be woven throughout the course as content is taught. Students will undertake a range of geographical inquiries throughout the senior course. Geographical inquiry involves acquiring geographical information, processing geographical information, applying geographical understanding, and communicating geographical understanding. The first part of undertaking a geographical inquiry is acquiring geographical information. Students needs to develop questions to drive their inquiry. This gives the inquiry direction. A plan needs to be developed which looks at the types of information that is needed and how that will be collected. Both quantitative and qualitative data should be collected. Students should consider the ethical issues around the inquiry they are undertaking, and ensure that they are behaving appropriately at all times. Students need to collect primary data in their inquiry, and use a range of tools. Students should also support their inquiry with reference to a range of secondary sources. The second part of a geographical inquiry is processing geographical information. Students need to take the data they have already collected and represent this data in a range of different forms. Students could use digital and spatial technologies to organize and represent their data. Students should consider cartographic rules when representing data on maps. This includes clear information such as a title and labels, explanation of map symbols, and indicating the orientation of the map. Students will need to analyze the data they have collected to make generalizations, to propose explanations for trends, relationships, and theories. Students should use their analysis of data to draw conclusions and may be able to predict future trends. Geographical information systems can be used to analyze data that has been collected. It is important that students evaluate the data they have collected to consider issues such as bias, validity, and reliability. After students have acquired and processed their geographical information, they need to start applying their geographical understanding. Students will need to evaluate different options or responses that have been investigated as part of their geographical inquiry. To do this, they should develop a set of criteria that take into account environmental, social, and economic considerations. Students should then make a judgment about the options they have identified. Students should put forward actions in response to their inquiry and predict what may follow on from these actions. A plan of implementation should be developed for the proposal. Students should consider how their learning from their geographical inquiry could be applicable to another geographical context. Lastly, students need to communicate the geographical understanding they have made in undertaking a geographical inquiry. Students should use a range of different presentation methods to communicate about their geographical inquiry, including the findings and conclusions. Digital and spatial technologies should be incorporated, where relevant, as part of the presentation. Students should discuss with the audience any of the ethical considerations that had to be addressed as part of the inquiry. Ideas should be communicated to any stakeholders to contribute to management of the issue or place. Students should reflect on the inquiry and comment on the process that was carried out, and the effectiveness of the geographical inquiry.